Are we live? Okay, we're back here again. This is the second video on this painting. Actually, it's about 5 minutes since we made that last one, because I got to keep painting because my wood's wet. And I don't want it to dry out, because then I'd be in trouble. So once again, just like the helmet, I am paint brown, just about run out of brown here. But this olive drab is going to be a little bit lighter than the other. Not as dark as his helmet. And one thing I did on the helmet is I took some black and mixed it with my burnt umber to paint the underside of his helmet there to give good relief from his head. Okay, now we'll go in with just a little bit of green. And as we do this, notice again that it's washing away color while it's applying it. And it's also soaking in, and you can see that wood down through there, which I really like. I think that's great, the way that effect takes place. And also, once more, just like the helmet, we're not that concerned about this, having a real even color, because their uniforms fade, they have dirt all over them, so that's perfectly all right to have that. I'm not worried about slopping over onto the other area, because that will be covered up. I'm going to put a little shadow in here for his collar where the fold is. Like that. Use a little bit of this brown here to put up in there. There, that looks good. We'll let that dry just a little. And we'll get back onto the head. I went ahead and I painted my cigar that dark burnt umber color right there. And just set that aside to dry. Okay? Now for his hair, I use that asphaltum again. Make sure I pick up the right one. Be plenty. Look at my hands. When they're dirty, I got to go wash them. Okay, went and washed my hands, so my hands are clean. And using this asphaltum, we're just going to start putting it on pretty straight. Taking our time to stay right on that burn line. Just like this. I'm not going to do the rest of the hair because we want to move along here. So now I'll do an eyebrow here. Okay, we'll just start here. Make sure you're making an expression on your face that you keep your paint in that expression or you'll lose it. I'm just going to go ahead and paint. Now have Judy turn the camera off, and that way we won't waste so much time on something that's pretty evident, okay? All right. Got his hair all done. Oops, there's a spot right there. I have a friend who always called those things holidays for some reason. I don't know why. It's best to take care of them now. Okay. Alright, I've got me a very small brush here. I've taken my hair dryer and I've dried the face, okay? I've went ahead and I double coated my cigar and I've glued it in place with a couple of drops of super glue, and you can see where the super glue has discolored the wood, but because we have the paint already on there, that's alright, because once I put the varnish on there, I'll show you what happens here. That evens that out. See? So I'm not worried about that. Okay, for the eyes now. I don't start out with white. I use a real light tan. This is called bamboo, but it's just a real light tan. Oops. Get a little on my brush. And I put the paint on straight, that way if you kind of slopped over on your burn lines like I did there, you can cover that up. I know I have a little point on this brush. Try to get up in there. Try to soften that burn line up a little. Okay. Alright. Now, wash that out. I'm going to dry this helmet and then I'm going to put it on his head, so I'll just ask Judy to turn off the... Okay. Alright, so I dried his helmet and I'm putting it on his head. Looking pretty good. All the colors are dead now, remember, because once they dry, they lose their luster. Well, we're going to give them that luster back once we varnish the figure. Okay, now the reason I'm doing this is I want to see which way to put those pupils in his eyes. Well, we don't want him looking that way. We want him looking this way over here. Okay, so we're going to put those pupils, start about right in here. Okay. I'll take off his helmet. Get my black. Get me a real sharp toothpick. Put a little spot right there. And put a little spot right there. That looks good. Now again with my brush, get the water out of it. I didn't get all the water out of my brush. By not getting that water out, see how the edges are fuzzy? You know, definitely don't want that. That's what I want. Doing these little things like this. It's really hard the older you get. That looks pretty good. So I'll go with that. Let's see what it looks like. I think that looks all right. Okay, so now what we're going to do is paint that ascot. What do I want here? A little tan on that. So I'm going to switch glasses here. These glasses, I bought these down the road here at the Dollar General store for about, how much they cost? $3 or $4, something like that. They're really cheap. This one is, this one is 3.25 magnification. Now a lot of people wear those things you pull down on in front of your face. You know, it's got the lenses out about here. They're extremely uncomfortable to wear. And I have a pair, but tried them a couple times and put them away. Did not like them. These things are so cheap. You can get them in about, I think, 3 different magnifications, and they work for me for doing close-up work. Just a little hint there. Okay, so what are we doing here? A new brush. Still got some green and brown, so I'm going to mix up a little bit of olive drab again. My wood's kind of dried out a bit, and I think I can do this. Make sure we get the inside edges here. I don't know what caused that there. Must have got some glue on that or something, so I'm just going to cut that off. Hopefully, got it. Got that. Got it. Now, there's another little bit right there. Now with a little bit of gray, I'm just going to kind of put that on there. Gray, I mean tan. Just kind of highlight it. There, that's all we need. Now let's put it all together. Looks pretty sniffy. Okay, with some black. And my brush. I'm going to paint around the edge of my cigar. I don't want an even line. I want it kind of ragged looking. Oh boy, I think we're going to make it this time. Again, that super glue, that will disappear when I varnish it. Put the black away. Wash my brush. Right, just a little bit, not a lot. Get my white. Brush. That's why I always wear old shirts down here. My armpit becomes my cloth. That looks pretty good. Actually, it doesn't look that great at all. There, that looks a lot better. Okay. Whoa, whoa, come back here. Let's put it back on here. Just tip him off to the side there. Okay, that looks pretty nice. Okay, we got one more video to go on this thing, and then we'll be finished with it. And but that's all I'm going to do today. What I'll do in the next video is I'm going to paint some stars across the front of his helmet there, and up his collar. Give that guy some class, okay? But he looks pretty nice, I think. All right? So, till next time, I'll talk to you later.